Former President Jacob Zuma has received a special remission on his contempt sentence. The Constitutional Court last month upheld the SCA's ruling, which found that his release from prison on medical parole was unlawful and that he must return to prison. During a press briefing today, Acting Correctional Services Commissioner Makgoti Thobakgale announced that Zuma had reported to Escort Correctional Centre at around 6 o'clock this morning for processing. However, he was released just after 7. This in line with the special remission program, which kicks off today. This program is aimed at addressing the problem of overcrowding in our prisons and set to benefit some 9,000 inmates, of which Zuma appears to be the first. Bernadette Wicks, Eyewitness News.
Hi family, hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday and welcome back to Thinking Thanks Tuesdays with me, Zoliswa or Xhosa, whatever you want to call me. And yeah, welcome back family to Thinking Thanks. As you all know, on Tuesdays we do Thinking Thanks Tuesdays, which is about current affairs. It's about online news, what's been trending, and also if maybe we were busy with the story which is still continuing, how's the progress on the story. So yeah family, welcome back again this week. Like any other week, please don't forget to comment, subscribe, share and also like the videos, and please don't forget to subscribe. And thank you very much family for all the love and the support. Our last week video did actually very well, I must say. It's one of the videos I can't believe it had so many views, or I don't know what you call it. So thank you family, and please don't forget to subscribe. As we say, it's free, you don't pay anything, you just sit and enjoy me blabbering and talking about the news or anything which has caught my mind about current or international affairs sometimes. So for today, we check our last week's stories, if there's any which is still progressing, and also we add our this week's stories. So we will obviously go to Senzo Meyiwa. As we all know, they're still in court. And then we go check on the taxi strike updates. We know that eventually things went back to normal, like this week, starting from Monday this week, I must say. The taxis have been back on the road. And then we also go check on what was the cause of the Bree Street explosion, because apparently there was something which was said about it, and I'm not sure if the investigation is done or it's still an ongoing investigation. And we go and check on the Niger coup, And after the Niger coup, we go to, I don't know how did I miss Omotose, I hope I'm saying it right, story, because he's that perverted priest, which there's all those stories which came out about him and sexually exploiting his congress or congregation. And we go check on the BRICS summit. So we all know on the BRICS side, it's preparations. I don't think there's anything wow about it, but we'll go check what's happening with the BRICS. And then, as we all know, it was Women's Day. And yeah, we know that especially in the Western Cape, most Women's Day events were cancelled because of the taxi strike. Yeah, that was our Women's Day celebration. So on the Women's Day, I'll say one or two words about my thoughts, how I feel as a woman in South Africa, and what do I think uh, so far, how is the progress when it comes to women problems and so on. And then as we are near elections, we go have a look on the DA Moonshot Pact. Apparently the parties are gathering for a convention, so we go check on that DA Moonshot and see what is it all about. And then also we go back to the courts. In the courts, we go check on the Ackerman, because that's another perv, which was found with children's sexual videos and so on. That's just a crazy story, but we'll go have a look on what's he said about him and NPA. And there was also wildfires in the USA, which we'll have a look. I don't know whether it's happened in Mawa or Muah. These names which you can't really say. And then also there was the whistleblower which was shot down last year by the name of Babita Diokaran, or if I'm saying it right. So we go check on her case, how things are going with that case. And last but not last actually, and then apparently there's something which was said about Stenhoff saga as well, the guy which took a lot of money from the poor people. We all know that one. Apparently he's a wanted man in German. And then we also go look, I think Donald Trump's problems are adding more, because there's been new cases against him, or there's new charges against him and others, but then Donald Trump's law who's are not over yet. Instead of them calming down, they seems to be getting bigger and bigger. So that's the stories today, and without wasting any time, let us go and see what do we find so far about Senzo latest. Okay, let's see what we'll find about Senzo, because we know last week when we left, one of the detectives was still testifying and so on. So here, Senzo Meyiwa trial. Let's see what do we have in front of us. Oh, I'm looking at the news directly online again. Says so I'm not writing it down on my books anymore now because it takes a lot. On SABC News, it said state witness in Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, Tumelo Madlala, says he cannot comment on contradictions between his statement and those made by other witnesses. So, Tumelo Madlala also was giving his statement on the Senzo Meyiwa case, and Magahi, he was all over the place. I don't know why he had to get angry sometimes and so on. because the way he was answering, sometimes you kind of feel like that was totally unnecessary. I think one thing they need to do, breathalyzers in those case or in those courts in the mornings when they're starting, because I don't think other people are themselves. So in the Senzo Meyiwa case, there's nothing really new. It was the Lali said, and then it was also Sergeant Mandla Masondo was also testifying as a state witness in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial underway. Okay, this morning. Masondo is a 20 years of experience in the police service. So Masondo, as you all know, supposedly is also expert in the case as well. So he was also giving the side of the story. That was SABC also on the 14th of August. That's what they wrote. I don't think there's anything which was out of ordinary and so on in the Senzo Meyiwa. So the only thing which is still on people's cases on people's mouths when it comes to the Senzo Meyiwa's case is, will Kelly Khumalo eventually take the stand? So some others say yes, maybe she will, and others saying no, she don't have to. But I'm kind of confused. If she won't take the stand, then who isn't she one of the best witnesses to actually describe what happened in that house that day? And wouldn't she be the one which will tell the most relevant version of things, because she was more connected to Senzo than any other people which took the stand. So we'll see if Kelly Khumalo will eventually take the stand, but hopefully she will. And then also on the 5th, which is today, SABC News, it says the state is expected to call new witnesses when the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial continues in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. 5 men are on trial for the alleged murder of the soccer star. Meyiwa was shot and killed while at the forced lavish home of the mother of singer Kelly Khumalo in October 2014. So you all know that part now. So far we know what happened, where was he. So there's not much which seems to be standing out from Senzo Meyiwa's case besides the witness is still giving the side of the stories, and the expert witness is also giving the expertise on what might have happened or what might not have happened. Because I know one of the other parts, I don't know whether it came out today, about the accident scene which was left unattended or something on those lines. But then the way also the police handled the matter of Senzo, it was just unprofessional in many cases, in many events. So from Senzo Meyiwa, we don't have any fireworks, if I must say so myself. It's the same like it's the same like your best Nandipha case of last week. As I said, there was nothing wow about it. It was just plainly like these people seems to just be enjoying they seems to be enjoying the cameras, or seems to be enjoying feeling like they're famous. But then besides that, there was nothing more. So even with Senzo, the state in the Senzo Meyiwa trial is expected to call a new witness when the trial resumes today. Two digital forensic experts who are called to testify about the chain of evidence during the Meyiwa murder trial at the High Court in Pretoria last week. 5 men are on trial for the murder of the soccer star who was shot and killed in 2014. Meyiwa was at, we all know. So as we all said that, okay, there's nothing really out of the ordinary besides that, yes, there's been state expert witnesses been called and so on. I think for today we are going to drop the Senzo Meyiwa case. So as I said last week with the Dr. Nandipha investor case, there was nothing really wonderful going on. There was nothing really which would say we are going to get to the bottom of this. The only thing which you heard was of Thabo Bester complaining about his things which he's lost or he are missing or stolen, whatever the cause may be. But then in the same breath, how did he have things which are up to 30 million if he was already in jail? Because he was not a free man. Whatever he has or he claims to have, he's not supposed to have them in the first place, because whatever he has now, he has accumulated through criminality. You can't have a business going on in jail. So I really don't know how the state is viewing Thabo Bester and Nandipa's case, because they seem to be too lenient on them. As much as these people, they are no different from hardcore criminals just because there's some monies involved around them. Anyway, we move on. Senzo Meyiwa, as I said, no fireworks, just people which are behaving like drunkard in court. And then we go to the taxi update and see what do we have the latest with the Western Cape taxis. Are we really out of the strike, or it's just... And yeah, with the strike, a lot of people lost their lives, because apparently also a known YouTuber's mother or was also caught in that whole mess. So she passed away. It was also bad. Now, it said when you actually do put faces into this whole chaos, and there was also a British doctor shot dead in unrest in South Africa. You see, okay, this one was from Sky News. So one of the bad things which this taxi violence left, not taxi violence, sorry, this taxi strike left South Africa with, besides just the Western Cape, was more or less a bad reputation, because now this one, it says a British man is among 5 people who have been shot dead in protests in South Africa. The 40-year-old victim, who was reportedly a doctor on holiday in the country, was killed in Tlanga and North Crescent area at Cape Town last Thursday. So apparently, it is believed he had taken a wrong turn from a nearby from the airport while driving with 2 other people. A group then approached the vehicle and shot him. So yeah, there was a video circulating and going on showing what happened. So that's one of the unfortunate events which the strike left South Africa with a bit of a bad name and bad reputation when it came internationally, because somebody which is not even a South African got caught in this whole mess. And let us see what we have now. This is still 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to find something which is recent, then we can see. Let's just say latest. So yeah, people, I think on Thursday, by Friday already, the taxis were back on the streets, and so far there hasn't been any problems. They've been going on normally. Yes, Santa calls off stay away with immediate effect. So it was called off 4 days ago with immediate effect, and then people went back to work, and the taxis were back on the road again. After all of that, I don't seem to be finding anything which is of any news, which means there's no news regarding the taxi strike so far. Okay, so we all know the strike is over with the taxis, and all the taxi drivers are back on the road again and driving and making their monies and not fighting with the city of Cape Town. Although the taxi strike caused a lot of confusion, because the Minister of Transport was saying this, and then the Western Cape government was saying that. because the Cape government was saying that it's not their bylaws which they're following. They're actually following the national road or transport rules. So we do not know who sits down and decide these are the rules of the roads. And the others believe that no, it's just that the Western Cape government is just too hard on the taxis because they're black, and in the Western Cape, if you're black, you do not belong, or something on those lines, or you're not good enough. Okay, let's just say a Bristol now with Bristol Street explosion cause. Because I thought there was something which was said about actually they find the cause of the explosion. I don't seem to be getting anything. So the only news I've got on Bristol Street, it's still 3 weeks ago. I don't have anything new. Do you want to tell me? There's nothing on Bristol Street ever since then. Okay. We don't have anything on Bristol Street. So anyway, on Bristol Street, which means that we haven't really found a cause of the explosion. It's still under investigations. Oh gosh. Let's see, what is our next story? So we've done Senzo, the taxi update. We don't seem to find any Bristol Street update so far. So which means the only news which I can see, it's 3 weeks ago. So I don't think there's anything new from Bristol Street. Okay, now we move to the next story. Let's check on the Niger coup. Where are we with that one? I don't know why my news are so selected today. Niger coup 2023, because I don't seem to be getting the news which I want. So now I'm going to start downloading them. So this one was a day ago. Niger coup, military wants to charge president with high treason. That was a day ago. Let's see, this is from ENCA. Hopefully I'm saying it fine. Oh gosh, I'm so horrible with names. Okay, we're gonna find out more about the Niger coup, it seems. Okay, the latest, it says that the military in Niger took over in a coup. Regional body ECOWAS responded by demanding a return to democracy, even calling for African Union troops to step in. Now, Niger's army has responded. They announced that deposed President Mohamed Bazoum will be charged with high treason and undermining state security. Senior advisor with the international. Okay, that's what NCA said. It's on DSTV 403. So if you got DSTV, that's where you'll find the channel as well. And let's see, what else do we have? 20 hours ago, Niger coup. So the coup is still going in Niger, and it's still, now they decide they are going to charge the president with high treason. The West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS, ECOWAS, has condemned the decision of Niger's military rulers to prosecute the deposed president for treason. They are calling it yet another provocation. Mohamed Bazoum was ousted and detained after the military took power by force last month. So last month, it's when the Niger coup started. Last month, the UN has called the developments quite worrying. So now the UN has said something, at least. Niger junta says it will prosecute ousted president. Wow, this is getting bad. Okay, this is from CBS News. Let's see what the CBS News is saying. Case a spokesperson for Niger's military junta said Sunday that coup leaders had gathered evidence to prosecute ousted President Mohamed Bazoum for high treason and undermining the internal and external security of Niger. Okay, that was said by international news. And then that's what we're still gathering in Niger. The coup leaders are not willing to stand off. So hopefully African leaders will stand together, as some of them also went to Ukraine to go sort out Russia or to try to find peace in Russia. Hopefully they'll be able to try to help Niger's government as well, although go and discuss with Niger to find peace as they did with Ukraine and Russia just the other time. And we move on, and then now let's see Omotose. Let's see what we find about that man. So I'll find out what he's on about. But Omotusa is one of the court cases which are happening. Says Rep accused Omotusa back in court. That was 5 days ago. So from what I remember, he was a priest or a pastor. I don't know what's the difference. And then he sexually exploited some of his congregation women. And so I'm not sure who decided to lay charges and got him arrested. It has been an ongoing story for very long. Yeah. It says, this is from SABC News. It says the almost 5-year trial of rape accused pastor Timothy Omotoso resumes again today at the Port Elizabeth High Court. On Monday, psychologist Karen Hawley, who interviewed some of Omotoso's alleged victims, told the High Court that she could not deny nor confirm that the women had changed their versions at the behest of a former prosecutor on the matter. Omotoso and his two co-accused face 63 charges, including rape, human trafficking, sexual assault, and racketeering. So that's what Omotoso is known for. That's one of the stories which are in court, and this one it's in the Port Elizabeth High Court. So that was 5 days ago. So the case has been going on for the past 5 years, and his charges, he's not the only one though. He's got two co-accused. They are charged with 63 charges. On those charges, it includes the following: rape, human trafficking, sexual assault, and racketeering. That's what he is on about. So we'll try to follow that case as well as days go on and hear what is it all about, because we know we love court cases. So let's see, what else do we have on Omotose? So in that matter, it says that the victims cannot, the psychologists cannot say the victims did or did not change their original stories, as the prosecutor might suggest. So it says, and this is SABC, and this was on the 10th of August. It says the state has called the 11th witness in the trial of televangelist Timothy Omotoso and his two accused Lusanda Sulani and Zukiswa Sito. So the two co-accused are Lusanda Sulani and Zukiswa Sito. Karen Muller is one of the, it's Karen Muller, or Muller, is one of two psychologists who interviewed some of Omotose's alleged victims. She testified about how most of the girls were lured into alleged sexual acts with Omotose. She is the third witness to take the stand since the trial resumed in the High Court in Gqeberha. Oh, it's not Port Elizabeth anymore now, it's Gqeberha this week. So that's what's happening. So we'll follow the case and we'll try to get up to date with the case. Hopefully by next week, I'll have all my ducks in the row and I'll be able to explain how did it all accuse, how did the evangelist get to be so gruesome. And then now, I'm at BRICS Summit. Let's go check now, seeing that we are moving on. We almost to the story. We go to the BRICS Summit. So what is the latest? BRICS new currency. Oh, as you all know, we are preparing for the BRICS Summit, and then there's been talks about the BRICS currency. Let's see, what do we have here? What is it all about? I haven't heard much about this BRICS currency and so on, but it's 15th BRICS Summit. 22 countries apply for membership. So there are countries which are applying for membership to join the BRICS, as you all know that. It says the expansion of BRICS and the adoption of a new common currency is on the agenda for the next BRICS Summit, slated in the second half of August in South Africa. However, India has clarified that the latter is not a move towards de-dollarization, but an attempt to ease trade with other nations in local currencies. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the agendas in the BRICS Summit of the whole attempt to ease with other nations in local currency. So that's what it says. So there are talks about the adoption of a new common currency within the BRICS Summit, and we'll hear more about it when the BRICS takes place. As you all know, I think it's next week, if I'm not mistaken. That's when 15 BRICS Summit countries apply for membership. So now let's go with the currency. We know the currency is one of the topics which will be discussed on the BRICS Summit, of having a BRICS currency. So this one is going to be the 15th BRICS Summit, which it says that 22 countries apply for membership. So as much as they're talking about the new currency and they're saying they're not de-dollarizationing anything, they just want a common currency which they can use. It says, at least 22 countries, including Saudi Arabia and Iran, have formally asked to join the BRICS bloc. A further group of 22 have expressed interest in gaining membership. The core group of Brazil, so the core group, which is the whole BRICS, stands for it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which we'll discuss this next week in Johannesburg. So that's one of the things, the currency, the BRIC currency, the 22 countries which want to join the BRICS membership. And yeah, that's what we have on the BRICS. So for next week, surely our news will be more about what's happening with the BRICS Summit. And then we move to the DA moonshot, which we want to understand what is it all about. So as you all know that next year's elections, promises are made left and right. And there's deals, there's coalitions, there's moonshot party packages, you name it. So DA apparently is discussed the A Moonshot Pact. Let's see, what is it all about? Because I can't even explain it. So today's Moonshot Pact, parties gather for convention. South Africa is gearing up for crucial general elections in 2024. The D8 Democratic Alliance has bold plans to unseat the ANC. Oh gosh. 1 minute DA is unseating the ANC, the next minute DA is joining the ANC. It is so confusing. The only people which know what they're doing is the people which are in charge there. So this is also ENC 8 says here the Democratic Alliance has bold plans to unseat the ANC, but it realizes it can't go it alone and has launched the Moonshot Pact. It aims to align opposition parties at a two-day convention. This two-day convention this week. Okay, so they're going to meet and they're going to explain or try to understand what's this Moonshot Pact it's all about. South African politics are boring because even this one, at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit certain people. It's not really going to benefit the people which are supposed to be benefiting from this democracy, which is the people on the ground. The leaders, political leaders, are doing everything they can to just them securing their position again for the coming elections and so on. So we all know DA had in Gauteng had the thing in this weekend. So with this moonshot, I don't see any. The Democrat Alliance is voting for the ANC in Gauteng is equal to giving your vote to the EFF. They all the same. Discuss the amendment should pact will work. We'll see. Okay, besides the DA, okay, the other one, the stories this week in court was so horrific. And then now we go to the Ackerman and try to find out what this Ackerman all about. Ackerman in court. It says alleged sex drinking bin Geert or Geert. I don't know what's this name, Gerald or whatever. I don't know. Ackerman back in court. That was 6 months ago. 5 what child sex abuse trial. Ackerman admits minors gave massages with happy endings. That was 5 months ago. Graphic father of one of the victims testifying the Gerard Ackerman child traffic case. That was 6 months ago. And then this is one day. Convicted child rapist Gerard Ackerman sentenced to 12 life sentence. So yesterday he was being sentenced. So this started from like a few months ago. So let's see, this is from SABC News. So it says Ackerman sentenced to 12 life terms. This guy is convicted. It says convicted child rapist Gerald. But this is, I don't know how to say this name. Ackerman has told the High Court in Johannesburg that he intends to appeal his sentence and apply for a retrial. Ackerman has been handed 12 life terms in prison by the court. He was convicted for 740 counts of crime, including rape, attempted murder, the production and distribution of child pornography, and human trafficking. Ackerman was charged alongside acting judge and senior advocate Paul Kennedy, who has since committed suicide. This was his response to... Hey, this is a hot case. This was his response to reporters when asked about the sentence. Okay. Wow, I didn't know that the acting judge and senior advocate Paul Kennedy, who has since committed suicide, this Ackerman guy was charged alongside acting judge and senior advocate Paul Kennedy, who has since committed suicide. Okay, that's what's happening also. So we've got 2 cases now, trials which you need to go find out more about, which is the Omotose and this Ackerman case. And so by next week, maybe we'll have more to talk about. And then also, let's check on Babita Jokran. Also, with the story with Babita, I don't know how did I miss this story, because it was one of those stories which really touch us as activists, because most activists are whistleblowers, whether we like it or not. But this one was the one which she found out there was something wrong, or the books were not adding up where she was working, which I think it was the Tembisa hospital, and then she tried to let her seniors know and so on, but the way things took place, it ended up costing her life and so on. But it's being said, because when you think about how protected witnesses are in South Africa, is there any witness protection unit or so on in South Africa? You don't really know, because we don't believe in telling on somebody in South Africa. When you tell on somebody in South Africa, we are seen as a snitch. Even if you see somebody doing the wrong thing, if you tell on them, then you're regarded as a snitch. It's all about see no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil. It says the case against the 6 men, so it's 6 men which are accused of okay, let me read the story from SABC News. The case against the 6 men accused of the murder of whistleblower Babita Deokaran has been postponed to the 22nd of August in the High Court in Johannesburg. This is to enable two parties to finalize a plea agreement. I hope I read that right. So that's what he's saying with the Babita story, that it will resume. It's been postponed to the 22nd of August, which I think it's next week, so that they can allow enable for the parties to finalize plea agreements. So this lady really lost her life by doing the right thing, though, and as we can see, there's 6 men which have been arrested for her murder. So we will follow that story as well. So we are moving away from our or what you call it, our regular suspects, now to finding new stories. So we've got the Babita story, we've got the Omotus, and we've got the Ekaman story, which you need to go check more on. And what other story do we have with T.A. Moonshot Ekaman? Oh, there were wildfires in America. So one of American towns woke up into almost like a, what you call it, a hell town, like those burned down, serious town. The whole town was just burned down. People, it's just bad. Anyway, apparently that was one of the deadliest fires in history in America. So part of America, Hawaii, if I'm correct, was under fire. A lot of buildings. People, if you could see the image, the videos, family, it's bad. It's like, imagine a whole town, boats, cars, everything burned down to the ground. So that's what happened. Let me just see if we can't find any news, but that was horrible. People lost their lives, and I think every day there's new bodies found, because other people were still stuck in their cars. They couldn't escape enough. Okay, Mua. I hope I'm saying it right. It's Maui. That's how it's written. It's Hawaii wildfires are the deadliest in the U.S. in more than a century. That's what we're hearing. It's the pictures. It's just something from just a horror movie. If you've seen something where it's most like, what you call it, Final Destination. It's something on those lines. It's just bad. So that's what Americans were going through. There were half of American town in Hawaii, Mua, burned down. The deadly wildfire that scorched the island, so it's an island of Muwa, is under investigation as anger grows in the community over the lack of warning. So people did complain that there were no warning signs and so on before the fire. So that's what most people, and there were not eviction or rescue missions in time before this whole fire became deadly. And frustration and questions grow in Muwa or Muwa. Okay, so officials now say at least 2,200 structures were destroyed as the search for survivors continue, while Hawaii government Josh Green warned the recovery efforts could be emotionally catastrophic. Okay, that's what's also being said. So there's still the recovery efforts which have been done, and there's over 2,200 structures which have been destroyed by the fire. So when you can say, imagine people, a whole town burned down and just ashes, that's what that Hawaii island looked like. And at least 96 killed by Hawaii wildfires. So they're still on the 96. And then from the fires, the wildfires, we move to Donald Trump. I know there's also something new happening with my favorite president. Oh, soon to be in jail, Donald Trump. Donald Trump news. Let's see what we have on him. And yeah, it says like Trump's 4 criminal trials could influence his 2024 campaign. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see how is that. But the Trump is not scared of law. So I think there's been additional counts only between the Georgia election result, Jan 6 Capitol riot, handling of classified documents, and hush money accusations. Former President Donald Trump is facing 4 separate indictments at both state and federal levels. So that's the 4 additionals which he got. So how is he gonna do this? So it's the Georgia election results, it's the Jan 6 Capitol riot, it's the handling of classified documents and hush money accusations. That's what former President Donald Trump is facing. So there's 4 more now. I don't think he's going to be able to clear his name and still run as a president as well. There's too much going on there. So from Donald Trump's side, he was worries with the law are still not over. He's still right at it. Hopefully, we'll see how he does it. Maybe he'll let go of running to be a president for 2024 and just concentrate on clearing his name in courts. We'll see. So yeah, so the last one, I leave this one for last on the books. So the last one we are doing now is the Women's Day. So in South Africa last week we were celebrating Women's Day. We saw Imbokodo, we saw everybody celebrating the women's strength, how women marched in 19 something, 50 something to the union buildings and go tell the government of the day they tired of the law and so on. So it was all of those commemorations and celebrations. But now when we look at all of that from where we are in 2024, and also to think back on the very same week which was celebrating women, we saw women shoving themselves in buses to try to get home because there were not enough transport to get home from being at work the whole day. We saw women walking long distances from where they were working to get home or from where they were staying to get to work because they need to feed their families. We saw women dying on the streets because they had to get to work or they had to take their children to school. So tell me, what the hell, Women's Day, women's rights were we celebrating? South Africa is just good with creating awareness, is whether creating awareness against gender-based violence, creating awareness against child abuse, creating awareness against whatever. But we do not implement change, we do not enforce change, we do not have plans to change things. How many women are still below poverty line in South Africa? Most of all of the bad things which happen in this world, they affect mostly women. And I'm still saying today, not, and it's even worse if you're a black woman, you are oppressed by men, you are oppressed by women. You still have to go say yes madam, no madam to a white woman so that you can feed your own family, because you are you are a single parent, you don't have a man at home, and you have to believe in a man at the end of the day and believe that this world is softer on you as a woman. So there's a lot which still needs to be done when it comes to women. And I don't understand why in this day and age we can't get a woman president. There is no way in hell a man will understand women problems like women do. We'll forever as women live in a man's world where we just have to bow and give way and smile. That's it. You can't really say your say. Then you are too emotional. Then you can't be a leader because you lead with your heart. There is so many things which prevent women to be themselves in this world, because it's not a woman's world, it's a man's world. There's very few countries which actually got to have a woman's president, and we've been singing democracy, democracy, democracy. So for me, when it comes to celebrating women's days, women this, women that, count me out. Until we're able not to have, I don't see the reason why I must buy pads, I must buy sanitary towels, but we can get a condom for free. Until the day I can go into a public toilet and get a free sanitary towel because it's a need, it's not a want, then I'll understand that we're moving the right way. A woman, you must pay as a woman to survive. If you can't afford something which is a need, something which you can't avoid for the rest of your life, something which affects the way you live, something which affects your lifestyle, then what the hell are we doing? You rather give a free condom than to give a woman a chance to be able to be free and continue with life, and just giving her a free flippin' sanitary towels where you go anywhere, you are a woman, Sometimes you don't even plan that today I'm going to have my Red Sea or whatever. There, boom, you are in an interview, you are stressing. By the time you stand up, you are a mess. You can't even focus on an interview because now you're worried, how am I going to look when I stand here? So women face a lot. I will only take this women's celebration whatever serious the day we stop buying sanitary towels. I don't care if we have to buy condoms. A condom is a want, but a sanitary towel is a need. We can't avoid it. But a condom, you can say, I don't have a condom today, so I choose not to have sex. But I can't choose not to get my periods because I don't have sanitary towels. Come now. Anyway, hopefully wherever you are, if you're in South Africa and you are celebrating Women's Day, it was up to your standard, or if you were not celebrating it, also maybe you've got your reasons, no problem. But anyway, family, that's all we have for today on our Thinking Thanks Tuesdays. And we shall meet each other again next week. So this time around, I'm proud because we did the work on an actual day. So thank you, family, for all the love and support. And please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. Tell your family, friends about this channel, or anybody which is boring who likes